in Blender, there are a lot of modifiers that you can learn, and you could probably spend an entire lifetime learning about them and how to use them effectively, and they're niche ball tech. But the modifiers that I would highly suggest learning are the Mirror Modifier, the Boolean Modifier, the Subdivision Surface Modifier, and the Bevel Modifier. And the way we add these modifiers is by going to the Modifiers tab. It's right under the Object tab, and it's the one with the little wrench. And the way we add these modifiers is by going to Add Modifier, going to Search, and then I'm going to start with the Mirror Modifier. And the way this one works is it mirrors your object based off of its origin point. But right now, that just means that you're not going to be able to see anything because it is mirroring into itself, because the origin point is in the middle of the object. So what I want to do is I want to delete the modifier, go to Object. I want to move this first, and then I want to go to Object, Set Origin, and then Origin to 3D Cursor. And it's going to set the origin of my object to the middle of the world. And now if I re-add my Mirror Modifier and swap to the Y-axis, it will actually mirror my object correctly. And if I apply this modifier with Control A or by going here and clicking Apply, you can, and then going to Modeling, pressing A, P, separated by loose parts, it actually creates 4 different objects, because not only was I mirroring on the Y-axis, I was also mirroring on the X-axis. Now, the other modifier I want to talk about is the Subdivision Surface Modifier. And what this one does is it will split the faces on your object and create a higher resolution. Now, there's something very cool about this modifier. It actually preserves the vertices of the original model. So as you can see, even though in the object mode, it looks like it has more vertices, if you go to modeling, you'll see that it only has the same 8 vertices that the original cube had. However, if I apply it, you will see that the vertices are instantly created. And this can be really useful if you don't want to have hundreds of thousands of vertices, but still have a high resolution object. And the way we can actually increase the resolution is by going to Levels Viewport and just scaling it up. Now, the other modifier I want to talk about is the Boolean Modifier. And what this one does is that it will, we can change the object by using a different object. And what that really means is, for example, if I make this object into a pole, select Difference, and then sample the object I made, and then apply it, what it will do is it will create a hole in my object. And we have 3 different modes to play around with. As I said, Difference will create the hole in your object, Union will combine the objects into one, and Intersect will only leave the intersecting parts of the object together. So the only part of my mesh that remained was the part that was intersecting with the other mesh. Now, the last modifier I want to talk about is the Bevel Modifier, which allows you to smooth out the edges of your object. And there are 2 equally important settings here, the amount and the segments. So if I increase the amount, it will increase the level of bevel applied, which means I'll get smoother edges. However, because there aren't a lot of cuts on my object, it's pretty low quality or low res. It's not going to actually look that nice. However, if I increase the segments, it will increase the amount of edge cuts created and create a higher resolution. So now if I increase the amount, I'll get a nice looking smooth object. Whereas before, I just got this weird chunky cubey object. And those are kind of the 4 important modifiers that I learned if I was just starting out. Of course, you can learn any modifiers you want, but I think these are vital to starting out on Blender. And that's really it for this.